So I've got to pack all their stuff up. Their room's a mess because we've been sick and haven't done anything. But I got the call today that they have to leave in the morning. So I got to start packing their stuff. Room again. I'm going to pack all their stuff. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm sorry, this is not going to be a happy video at all. I have tried to collect myself and calm myself down before I made this video so I wouldn't cry the whole time. But I can't make any promises, so. Our foster kids, our first placement, just went home about 2 hours ago. And it really sucks. It really sucks. We were told that we would have them 6 months to a year, and we were their permanent placement, and there was a 50-50 chance that we would be able to adopt them. So we looked at these kids like we were already talking about the possibility of adopting these kids, and they just had a baby brother or sister born last week that we haven't met yet, but we were also talking about adopting if it came to that. So it's just been a really hard day. We were not expecting this at all, and that's the way it is with foster care. I knew that from the beginning, but we were really just caught off guard with this. They really broke us in good with our first placement. We got 3 kids with our first placement. It was an emergency placement, and we were told we'd have them 6 months to a year, and we had them almost 3 weeks. So it was really hard. We absolutely adored these kids already. We loved them like they were our own. We would love any kid that came here like they are our own. So our hearts are really in this, guys. So we are, to say the least, we are devastated. We are. This really is awful. It just is heartbreaking, and it sucks. Sorry, my camera ran out of memory. I had to delete some things. Going from 5 to 2 kids again. We went from 2 to 5, now 5 to 2. So this should be a piece of cake from now on until we get another placement. We're probably going to take a little break to grieve, because this is a grieving process. The oldest, DJ, he really broke my heart. We got really bonded with him. We bonded with all of them, but he's the oldest, and he could tell us the most, and he loved us, and we loved him. We loved them all, but he just really took this really hard, and he just keeps telling us that he doesn't want to leave us. He's told us a lot about the situation he was in. I can't say a whole lot, but this is one of those cases where I'm not for reunification in this case. I just don't think it's what's in their best interest right now, but it's not up to me. So that is the worst part of foster care, especially if you're a person who likes to have control. You will not have any control in this situation other than when they are in your care. What you do for them and how you love them, that's the only thing you have control over, but you don't have control of when they come and when they leave and who they go to, and you don't have any control of that. But they told me they are sending me a subpoena to court to testify of the things that we've been told about the situation, and I'm definitely going to go to court, and I'll update you on that. We did ask to be first on the list. If these kids go up for adoption, we would like to be the first ones called, if at all possible. So they did say they would do that much for us, and if it doesn't work out where they are going, they're not going home today, they're going to another foster home. What had happened was we are middle Georgia, and they are from North Georgia. They're actually on the Tennessee, close to the Tennessee line. And we were the closest home that was open that could take 3 kids at one time, that was not full. You know, there's not a lot of people that can take sibling sets, and the ones that are usually full. So we were the closest ones open and the best fit for them at the time for an emergency placement. They did go to 2 other placements before us, and that didn't work out, and they sent them to us before our home was, took a couple days before our home was even open, and it was an emergency placement. And it's just been hard. I packed all their stuff last night. I didn't pack everything because there was so much. We got so many donations and things for them, and I wish I had packed everything because it's really hard seeing their stuff still in their rooms and around the house. It's hard, guys. And as hard as it is for a grown-up, I can't imagine how much harder it is for these kids. You know, we're grown, we can handle this, we can get over it, get through it, cope, do what we need to do, but these kids are suffering in this system, and it's just, I hate the system already, because I know they are, look at our caseworkers and our social workers are amazing. They are overworked and underpaid. I truly believe that. They are doing the best they can for these kids, but like I said, we were the closest home open at the time when they needed a place to go. They were sick when they all had strep when we got them, and they needed somewhere to go, and we were the closest one. But the way it goes is they set up visitation with the parents, and they have to go to visitation once a week, and the closer it gets to them going home, if that happens, is they will be going to visits 1 to 3 times a week, if not more, the closer they get to going back home. And they didn't want the kids in the car 6-7 hours a week to go to visits. That's just too much for somebody to have to transport them, and for them to be in a car that long every week is just kind of mean to do that to the kids. So I understand that this was the best thing for them, but at the same time, I'm not supportive of visitation or reunification in this case, so it's made it a little bit difficult for me to be okay with this, because I know that this is just not stable for these children. They've been here 2.5 weeks. We've got them in school. We've got them in daycare. They're on a good routine. They were thriving here, and we just loved them, and it's really hard to see them go. It was, goodbyes suck. They suck. They really do. But I don't want to discourage anyone from doing this. I still think that people need to get involved and do this. If you've ever thought about becoming a foster parent, now is the time. That's the biggest thing. Like, with these kids, they could have went ahead and went to a closer placement if they were more available closer to them, and they wouldn't have had to been moved around so much. They could have went to one placement and been close to where they need to be. They don't like to place the kids in the same county, but they also don't want to place them so far away that the visits are just so much traveling for them. So yeah, it's just, I wasn't expecting it. You know, we were told we were their permanent placement. 6 months to a year is what we were looking at, and 50-50 chance of adoption for these kids. So it was quite a shock when we got that call yesterday. So we had less than 24 hours to pack all their things and say our goodbyes and explain to them what was going on. And it was really tough, guys, especially telling them that they had to go. And you just hope and pray that they don't feel like it's because we don't want them. This was not our decision. It was not up to us. We had no control over the situation. And I really hope that they don't think it's because we don't want them, because I was totally ready to adopt these kids, like, today if I had to, you know, like. And when he started crying as soon as the car pulled in the driveway, and not even crying, but weeping. 6-year-old little boy just weeping, and he has these big beautiful brown eyes, and just, they get me every time. The smaller kids, they did really well. I packed them a snack to take on the trip, and their sippy cups, and I was really disappointed in the transporter as well. Like, he was very nice, but he came in a Corolla with a hubcap missing. They had to put the 6-year-old, the 2 smaller ones are in the back seat, the 6-year-old was in the front seat. Kids are not supposed to be in the front seat till they're 12 years old. It really was disappointing to see that for the first transport that we had for them, that it was just not proper at all. Like, they should have a designated bus or SUV to transport these kids when they're having to do this as often as they do. They should have a better transportation for these kids. It's raining, storming outside, and they're having to drive 3 hours in the rain. If he's in a wreck, he's in the front seat, like, there's no chance. I mean, I don't even want to think about it. I just need to stop talking about it because it's going to make me worry. I mean, it's like putting your kids in the car with a stranger and not knowing where they're going. Like, it's just gut-wrenching. And he put them in their car seats with their coats on for a 3-hour trip and made my husband go back out there and take their coats off so they'll be comfortable for a 3-hour car trip. Like, you're not supposed to put kids in with a fluffy coat on. If you get in a wreck, it can compress, and it's not safe. And it's just, as a mom, like, it's really frustrating. That's my biggest concern with the system. Like, these people want to help, but I don't know, maybe I'm just being too critical, but when you love somebody, when you know what you are willing to do for them to make sure they are safe, and you're not seeing that being done for them anymore, it's concerning, not to say the least. It is. So yeah, but my husband has been amazing. He went back to work after they left, but he tried to hold it together for me. But after DJ started crying, and we could see him in the front of the car just crying so hard, looking out the window at us as they pulled off, and it absolutely broke us. It did. Told myself I was not gonna cry, but I cried all night after I got the news, and all night, and then I've cried some this morning, and I'm just trying not to cry this whole video. But I mean, this is real, and it's painful. It is like losing a child. I'm not gonna lie. If you care about these kids, it's like losing a child. And I've had a miscarriage. You know, I know what that feels like, and this pain is similar. Not exactly the same, but it is similar. I'm trying to trust that God has a plan for these kids, and God has protected these kids up until this point. He got them out of the situation they're in. They've been with good families ever since, and I'm praying. I don't know who they're going to. That's another thing. I wish I had asked to do the transport so I could meet the family they're going to, see where they're at, see what their bedrooms are going to look like. But I didn't get to do that this time, and we've all been sick, and the littlest one, he's got a cold, and I'm having to send him out in the rain and a long trip to a new place with a cold, and he doesn't feel well, and it just feels so wrong. It feels so incredibly wrong. But this is foster care. This is how it goes. So if you're getting into it, be prepared for the worst, because it's not always going to be smooth sailing. And you can be told one thing, and the next day everything has changed. So this is going to be hard. This is a lot harder than I anticipated. I told myself, you know, that I could do this, and I know that I can, but it hurts, guys. It does. But these kids need people that care. They need people that are going to be a voice for them, who are going to love them unconditionally, and do everything to protect them while they're in their care, and pray for them when they're out of their care. I'm just going to keep praying for them. I know God is going to protect those babies. I know it in my heart, and I'm going to try to find out. You know, I wrote a letter to whoever they're going to, telling them details about each kid and what they like, what they don't like, different quirks about each kid, just to help them, you know, transition a little easier. And I gave them my phone number and I asked them to please call me if you have any questions, or if you're comfortable, call me and give me an update on how they're doing. I don't know if they'll do that. I'm hoping they will. I don't know, but I'll let you know if they do. It's gonna be a long day. So yeah, this is our first goodbye, and it sucks, but this is foster care, so I gotta show y'all the reality. This is raw and real, and people need to see this and know that there's a huge need for people to get involved and be a voice and an advocate for these children. I don't know what else to say. If you have an empty room, if you have, you know, financial stability, you can be single or married. It doesn't matter. These kids need people who will love them and get involved. Like I said before, if these kids had more options of homes they could go to, they wouldn't have had to been moved so much. They could have went to a home that they needed to be in from the get-go and not move 3 hours away. I'm grateful that we got the chance to love them and meet them, but the system is broken. It's not perfect. I hate to blame the parents, but for the parents who, you know, it's one thing if you've lost your job and you just are having a hard time. I can understand reunification, but there are some instances where I just don't believe that it should even be an option, and this is one of those cases. And I can't say much more than that, but just pray for the protection of these children if they have to go back, or, you know, I don't know who they're going to, so just pray for them, pray for their protection, pray for their little hearts and their little minds, because just the moving around is traumatic enough, despite what they've been through before, and then now all this moving and new schools. I mean, this will be their second or third school in like 3 weeks. I mean, just think of your own kids going through that, like how rough that would be, and how just pray they don't feel like it's because we don't want them, because that was not the case. And I tried to explain that to him, but it's just really hard to explain when you don't have all the answers yourself. So yeah, it's been a sad day, but I'm going to put in a few pictures at the end of their time with us. I wish I had taken more video and picture now, but I thought I had more time to do that. I've been so busy with this doctor's appointments and new schools and being sick and just everything. We've been so busy, and I had no idea that this was coming, so I didn't take as many pictures as I wish I would have. So that's what I'll say. If you get foster kiddos, take lots of pictures, send them with them if you can. I didn't have time to go print any to send with them, but I'm going to get some printed and try to give them to their social worker, and hopefully she can pass those along to the kids. So I even had a little birthday party planned for the youngest one. He did already have one with our church. Our church threw him a birthday party, so at least he got that much last week. But I was planning him and Reagan a birthday party together because their birthdays were within 2 weeks of each other, and that was in a week and a half, so he didn't. I still have all his birthday stuff. I gave him his birthday presents last night before he left, but I just feel numb. It feels like it's grief. It is. And I'm probably just gonna mope around the house today, watch TV, take hot baths, watch YouTube videos to try to just take my mind off of it, because I can't help but worry about them. But I'm gonna give it to God and just pray for their protection and hope for the best. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I love you, and Jesus loves you too. God bless you all. Bye.
Bye.
Missing someone. Missing someone. Missing someone.